Hello and welcome back here. Thank you so much for choosing to follow this particular thing that I want to share about, right? My name is El and I am alright. Okay, today I want to talk about you investing deliberately in your marriage, right? Doing everything possible to ensure that you and your spouse are always on the same page romantically. You're growing together. One of the big problems we see with people who get to divorce after several years of their marriage, we don't understand that people go through so much things in life, especially when people start going through menopause for women, when men and women generally start going through midlife crisis and all of that. We do understand that that affects a lot about them. It affects a lot about their lives, and it affects a lot about the way they do things and the way they attend to matters and the way they see things. Excuse me. Okay, so I just want to talk about the fact that if we do not invest in our marriages, if we do not take them as the number one priority, something else will become more important, and that thing will most likely make us no longer see value, make us no longer see our worth in our marriage. Like we just feel like, oh, what's this marriage all about, and the rest. Generally people say that the first 5 years, the first 3 years, the first 5 years of every marriage is the most difficult of the marriage, because that's the blending phase, that's the understanding phase, the understanding and the blending phase of the marriage. And any couple that is able to go through that phase successfully will definitely have a very solid and beautiful marriage. We call the first 5 years of a marriage the wood season, like season in the wood season. For those of us who are in Africa, we not actually understand what people mean by woods. For us, we understand it as forest. It's like we are in the forest season, we are in the bush, we are still trying to find our way, we are still trying to find our way through the bush, trying to chart a course and the rest through the forest to be able to come out from the forest and come into some civilization and the rest, come into some clear feet. So the first 5 years is more or less like crazy, because we're having two different people, two different, most likely two different orientations, two different family backgrounds, two different experiences coming together to choose to become husband and wife, living together in the same house, right? So it's going to be something that is very difficult. And in these first 5 years, people have said that the major challenges marriages gets to face in this period happens to be money, sex, and in-laws. Money, sex, and in-laws. Yes, career may be one of it and all of that, but those first three things will define a whole lot of how the marriage would be a success later. Many people usually get shocked, like, okay, how come people who are married 19 years, 20 years, 25 years, 28 years, 30 years, 35 years, 50 something years are still wanting to divorce? Like, they feel like, oh man, you guys would have lived with each other for so long, adjusted, adapted to each other for so long, understand each other well enough to be able to continue. So why break up? Why the thing about it is, we have come to realize that many people spend their energy and many people spend their time parenting kids. And that's why, for many counselors, we usually advise that it's not so good for you to have a kid in the first 2 years of your marriage. The first 2 years of your marriage. Why? Is it says that you guys don't understand each other, you don't know each other yet. A child coming to join that equation is bringing a third person into that equation. So we have two people who are yet to understand themselves. Now we are not having a third person, meaning three people who are yet to understand themselves, three people who are yet to figure out, who are about figuring out life for themselves. And usually what happens is that rather than people bonding, adapting, and adjusting to themselves in the first years of their marriage, they spend all their energy trying to cater for their kids, trying to raise their kids, trying to provide for their kids, trying to do everything. So the kids become the center of attention, center of attraction for the couple rather than they themselves, right? I noticed it too in my marriage, and I had to just tell myself that no, this is not proper. This is not fine. This is not what it should be. This is not how it should be. And I started doing things to become more deliberate, to spend more time, to share more time with my wife, because my kids, especially that one called Akon, serious gun body, like the guy wants to spend time with me, wants me to put him to bed, and wants me, he doesn't want me to leave his bed. If I leave his bed, he wakes up and come back to my room and drags me again to his bedroom and on his bed. See, in time just came out to tell myself that no, 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 no. My wife is my priority, right. Like my father said that children are blessings, and blessings can be accepted or rejected. They are like gifts. So why should I accept the blessing more than who I am? Why should I accept the blessing more than the person who is giving me the blessing, as it were? That's just it. So you pay attention to your marriage, you give your marriage all the best things you can give it. You just ensure that your marriage is priority. Ask yourself this simple question: if I have to choose between my wife and my child, who will I go for? If I have to spend money on my husband or my child, who will I spend the money on? If I have to choose with as regarding time between spending time at work or with my family or my friends and with my spouse, who will I choose? Now, the moment your spouse is not your number one, like, okay, if I have to do between church and mosque and my spouse, who comes first? Who is most important? The moment other things are becoming more important than your spouse, then just know that there's problem in your marriage. So you have to re-evaluate and look everything and just see how you can invest things in your relationship. People who get to divorce after the marriage is already 20 years, 15 years, 25 years, 10, 30 years, usually come to realize that by the time the kids leave the house, that they had nothing in common. The only thing they had in common, the only shared thing they had all these years was their kids. And now the kids are gone, and they discover that they are two strangers, right? And so that's why it's very easy for you to find these people divorcing. And it did not start when they were 25. It actually started from when they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is why I want you to pay attention to those very years right there. And even if you're 30 years old in marriage, pay attention to your marriage and see how you can invest in your spouse. Invest time, invest quality time and quantity time, invest attention, invest gifts. Let your heart where your treasure is, delights your heart, right? Where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart will always be. So invest in it. Make your spouse your treasure, and you will have a beautiful marriage. Thank you so much for being part of this. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends so I get to enjoy the same things that you enjoy. And if you send us a message, you send us a WhatsApp message, you drop a comment in the comment section, I'll be the one to respond to it directly. You rock.